Hello, Planning Commission. My name is Kerry Jarsoff. I'm a professional planner, community planner in this province. I'm a registered technologist in Saskatchewan, and I, in my past life, was a fully trained nuclear, biological, and chemical defense officer in the military. I ran the section at CFB Cold Lake to protect base assets from chemical threat. That's relevant to the university sector plan, which I'll talk about first. And then I have some zoning issues which relate to your P4G initiative to unify and harmonize our zoning. And that'll be at the end of this. Thank you. This is the document from the OCP, from the City of Saskatoon directly, where the zoning has started from this. And it clearly shows the chemical buffers. Those buffers are to protect human life because those are lethal buffers that could kill people. The Public Health Act is very clear that this can be considered a serious public health threat because of the scale and scope of it and the severity of it. The Planning and Development Act, no development shall be carried out that is contrary to the zoning bylaw. The city themselves had a very large public event on the bridge while the chemical plants were operating, which is well within the safety buffer at that time of both chemical plants, and they had no safety provision. So they openly breached the zoning bylaw, the Planning and Development Act, and the Health and Safety Act without consequence. And no one realized that they put so many people's lives at risk. And I've been presenting for years on this. Here's the dates that I presented to the city. I would urge you to watch these because I think you should be informed of what's really going on. Specifically on the 24th of June, you will notice that the land development manager comments that they haven't been informing people when they buy the land and all through the development process that they are in a chemical buffer, so people are unknowingly building and living and working in these areas through their days and not realizing they have to have a plan to save their own life. But it can be reasonably managed. The other thing he said is that people can just look up the zoning bylaw and see that it says you need shelter in place. But if you do a word search of the entire zoning bylaw, you'll find it doesn't mention shelter in place once. And I would like it to, so I'm hopeful you can have that added somehow. I presented the City of Saskatoon with documents from other jurisdictions, including shelter in place from the City of Edmonton. I've yet to see anything from the City of Saskatoon. This is now what the current buffer system looks like. The lethal buffer that people have to take seriously, 1 kilometer. And you'll find that it extends over your business park in the university sector plan, which is why I'm bringing it up right now. Your light industrial behind is in the false area. The light industrial should be where the business park is, and probably the business park should be where the light industrial area is, because you cannot have a chemical buffer through a commercial area. It has to be through an industrial area. That has yet to be changed, and people are spending money on land for that. Your university sector plan, which a snippet of it was shown today in your document, still shows this original configuration, which is false. Prairie Land Park zoning has become a big issue because of uses that went on out there that have been unchecked by the city for years. Things like restaurants, lounges, bars, banquet halls, catering kitchens, catering halls. All of these activities are taking place out there, and yet they do not have a written permitted use. So we have this problem where some zones have things written very specifically of what you're allowed, and then we have other areas like the ag that do not list it. So should it be going on there? I've seen situations where permitted uses have not been allowed by the City of Saskatoon, even though they are written into the zoning bylaw. I've also received in writing from the Manager of Development Review that at the end of the day, it is the city's zoning bylaw and ours to interpret. And now your new document that you release, you want to take away prohibited because you say it's redundant. And I would agree. The problem is that if we don't follow the actual permitted uses of all the zoning document, and then it must mean something. But if you have a business in one area of the city, say a restaurant, and it says in another zone you can have a restaurant, as long as you have the right building size, you should predict that you should be able to have that restaurant. But yet, now they're saying that you can have lots of permitted uses that aren't even listed. So this needs to be addressed. So if you're going to create uniformity in our zoning bylaw with other jurisdictions for P4G, I would hope that you could start at home because we have big issues already within our own city. Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to present to you. I'm open for questions if you have any.